is your AI briefing for August 26, 2026, with 12 stories. Story 1. OpenAI's Jalapeno chip is outperforming NVIDIA, AMD, and Google chips, SemiAnalysis says. SemiAnalysis reports OpenAI's Jalapeno inference chip delivers higher throughput per watt and lower latency than NVIDIA Blackwell, AMD, and Google accelerators on industry benchmarks. SemiAnalysis says the chip is being tuned for OpenAI's own inference stack, giving the company a custom path to cut serving costs at scale. That advantage could pressure hyperscaler buyers to prioritize energy efficiency over raw flops in next-generation deployments. OpenAI's custom silicon wins on paper, but the real loser is NVIDIA's margin story if Jalapeno scales beyond a benchmark victory. Story 2. Unlicensed, unrestricted AI training could destroy the ecosystem for books. Quote of the day by the Authors Guild on the sourcing of training data. Authors Guild warns that unlicensed, unrestricted book data training could rapidly erode book market incentives as major AI models consume copyrighted texts at scale, risking long-term damage to publishers and authors. The Guild says licensing is the only way to pay creators and preserve the chain of investment that finances editing, printing, and distribution. It argues that once models can ingest full books without permission, publishers will cut advances and fewer authors will be able to earn a living. This isn't AI innovation, it's a licensing grab that lets model makers monetize books while authors and publishers eat the training cost bill. Story 3. Meta. Zuckerberg's plea to liberate AI. He frames open access as a way to let developers inspect, adapt, and stress test advanced systems instead of relying on a few companies' gated APIs. The approach would shift influence toward a broader research community and could speed benchmarks, safety work, and product integration across industries. Liberate AI really means Meta gets to externalize safety risks while laundering frontier model access as a public good. Story 4. From Scotland to Shanghai, the global push to sink AI data centers into the ocean. Scotland-backed AI operators and Chinese ports are trialing submerged data centers using seawater cooling, but tightened environmental and permitting uncertainties could delay deployments and raise compliance costs. The projects pair offshore or harbor siting with direct seawater heat rejection, cutting the land and freshwater demands of conventional server farms. That makes grid access and coastal engineering central issues for operators, regulators, and local communities. Seawater cooling sounds elegant until regulators and coastal ecosystems start pricing the efficiency gains into permits, delays, and cleanup bills. Story 5. Claude Cowork finally remembers what you told the app in chat. Anthropic is rolling out shared memory between Claude Chat and Claude Cowork so project context persists across sessions, cutting repeated user briefings for teams starting immediately for participating users. The shared layer lets notes, preferences, and project details carry from one workspace to the other without manual copy-pasting. Teams using both products should see fewer repetitive prompts and more consistent outputs across long-running projects. Shared memory is less magical AI and more overdue UX cleanup. It saves teams from re-explaining projects they already taught Claude yesterday. Story 6. Employers want your Slack DMs to be public so AI can learn from them. Employers are pushing to make Slack DMs public for AI training, including one firm turning exec chats into a friendly leaderboard, raising privacy and compliance risks. Public access would let model builders ingest private workplace messages that were never written for broad distribution. It also creates exposure for sensitive negotiations, HR issues, and client data under company retention and compliance rules. Translation: your private Slack DMs are now training data, and executives get a leaderboard while everyone else gets privacy and compliance risk. Story 7. Foldable iPhone Ultra could cost up to 5x more to repair. New foldable iPhone Ultra repair estimates suggest $600–900 out-of-warranty costs, driven by Samsung Google parts pricing when Apple enters, raising total repair spend up to 5 versus slab iPhones. The high price reflects large component replacement jobs, especially the folding display and hinge assembly that dominate post-warranty repairs. That makes accidental damage far more expensive for buyers and increases pressure to use protection plans. A foldable iPhone that costs $600–900 to fix turns premium into fragile luxury, with Apple selling the hinge and users underwriting the bill. Story 8. AI is hitting entry-level jobs hardest, Stanford study finds. A Stanford study finds AI displacement concentrates in early career entry-level roles, where workers have fewer transferable skills and face faster hiring slowdowns than experienced staff. The effect is strongest in occupations where routine tasks can be automated or screened by AI before a human ever reaches the interview stage. Employers are shifting towards senior hires with proven judgment, widening the gap for newcomers trying to enter the labor market. Stanford's finding translates neatly. AI is squeezing the most replaceable workers first, because entry-level jobs are where companies buy cheaper mistakes. Story 9. Why unstructured data is becoming critical to enterprise AI. Enterprises are rapidly scaling AI investments, but unstructured data preparation is the bottleneck, forcing teams to invest in ingestion, indexing, and governance workflows to make models usable. Unstructured sources like documents, emails, images, and audio now supply the context that enterprise models need for retrieval, grounding, and agent actions. The teams that can govern this data fastest gain the biggest advantage in deployment speed and accuracy. Enterprise AI's real bottleneck isn't model choice. It's messy, unstructured data, and the winners are ingestion and governance vendors charging to clean up everyone's spreadsheet graveyard. Story 10. Cisco expands secure AI factory with NVIDIA for the rack-scale era. Cisco is pairing NVIDIA Cloud Partner-compliant reference designs with Supermicro rack-scale systems to deliver end-to-end AI infrastructure for surging neocloud and sovereign cloud demand. The combined design targets rack-level integration for faster procurement, deployment, and scaling in tightly controlled cloud environments. It also gives operators a path to standardize AI hardware while meeting compliance requirements for regulated workloads. Cisco is selling rack-scale certainty to neoclouds and sovereign clouds, but the real product is lower deployment risk wrapped in NVIDIA compliance theater and Supermicro hardware. Story 11. Relativity accelerates enterprise AI transformation with Google Cloud's Gemini Enterprise for Legal. The MCP connection lets users query and act across legal content without custom point-to-point integrations. That standardization reduces security review overhead while giving firms a faster path to roll AI into matter review and discovery. Relativity and Google Cloud are turning legal AI into a standards-based workflow pitch. MCP mainly helps vendors interoperate while lawyers still pay for security and speed promises. Story 12. Apple launches new Mac Mini, Mac Studio, M6 and M5 Ultra chips unexpectedly. Apple debuted refreshed Mac Mini and Mac Studio desktops alongside new M6 and M5 Ultra chips, including its first 2nm silicon, boosting peak compute for workstation tasks. The new silicon adds more headroom for sustained pro workloads, with the Mac Studio positioned as the highest-end desktop in the update. Apple is aiming these systems at developers and creators who need faster local inference and rendering. Most powerful silicon yet is Apple Bingo. The actual story is workstation buyers get faster chips, while everyone else gets pricier desktops. That is the briefing for today.